Hello. Now I'm going to dive for another conversation in adventures in AI today with Janine. Hi, Janine.
Hi, Alexia.
So
I'm
we
from
we
Australia.
basically we met years ago, just before COVID, on some Power of Eight group, which is a Lynn McTaggart thing for getting together in groups of eight to do what? To spread good vibes, was it? It was really to hold.
Read the book, I think, or found the group, and I decided to put the group together. And I found all of you in the Facebook group. I think it was about amplifying intent. She'd done this study around if multiple people focus on the thing, then it actually
Yeah.
manifests.
And
So,
that was really, we did that for a good few months, and then COVID. So then I think we disbanded.
yeah,
But we've stayed connected. And now, I mean, you are now in Oz. You were in Amsterdam at the
I
time.
was in Amsterdam. Now I'm in Australia.
You are, yeah. And
Been
and
a
just
long time.
we're gonna in a minute, I'm gonna ask you to tell us what cool thing you've done this week in AI, and we're gonna see where that takes us. But first, just give us a little bit of a what do you do? What like we tried to pin this down a bit before we got on the call, and you're not quite sure, maybe, but maybe it's got therapeutic coach vibes, healer vibes, guide vibes. What in your words, where do you think you're at the moment?
I help people heal their wounds, basically. Whatever you want to call me, guide, coach, therapist.
Brilliant,
Yeah.
brilliant. So yeah, so that's just for
Help,
everybody
yeah, to
watching.
support people in loving space to actually get below the surface to the parts of themselves that are unhappy, wounded, playing out, repeating on patterns, and help them come back to base, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're having a chat today because on my Facebook profile I shared that ChatGPT had told me that I was in the top 1 to 3% of users, and then you come along and say that you're in the 1 to 2% of users, which
Yeah.
really means that you're doing loads of really cool things with AI, and that's why I want to talk to you because I want to know what you're getting up to, and because I think the thing with AI is it's all about it is so brilliant because it's all about your own sense of creativity and thinking, well, what could I do today? Like, I wonder if I could. It really enables you to kind of tap into that sense of curiosity and then run with it. And you clearly have done that, right? So I just want to know what you've been up to. So we're going to start with what cool shit have you done this week with AI?
Oh gosh, this week. Well, that's a hard place to start. I mean, you should see my list of chats on Chat GPT. I
I
can't keep
know,
up
I
with it
know.
all.
If somebody asked me that question, I'm like, well, do you want Tuesday morning's best thing, or do you want like at 1 o'clock the best thing I did? Because so many tabs. I've never had more tabs open in my life. So I feel your pain, but pick one that's the coolest.
Oh, look. I'm playing with this is one. I think this is why I got top 2%. It's because I paid $10 off the internet for a few. It was Meet Your Future Self. I don't know if you've
Okay.
had it pushed on your Facebook feed, but I thought, oh, that looks really cool. You can program your own GPT to become the successful version of yourself that will then speak to you when you're going astray because it knows you and it goes, well, Janine, when I was in this situation, this is what helped me get through it. And I know it does work out.
So cool.
Hmm?
So you've created that. You've created a future
Yeah.
of yourself.
Yeah, so I paid $10. It's in a little training sort of course program, and then and the first thing he gets you to do, it's so cool. He goes, he's written this prompt where I'll tell you his name. His name's Brad Costanzo.
Oh,
It
so we
was
need a link
celebrated.
to that product. So if anybody else wants to do this,
Yeah,
that sounds
yeah. So
really cool.
he is a coach, I think, is one of his ways of attracting people. But it was all, and it starts off with a prompt, a very like elaborate prompt, asking ChatGPT to write a report about what it already knows about you.
Yeah.
So you get full blown analysis, like whoa, like I poured my heart out to ChatGPT about my relationship, about my life, my health, like everything, my to-do lists, everything. And then it says take that and then paste it into another prompt, which will then harvest and ask you for all this information extra to what it doesn't already know about you, with your goals and desires and values and everything. Then you paste that whole thing and create a project or a GPT, whichever one you choose. and you train it, you upload the files into there, and it informs itself from those reports that you gave it, all about who you are, what your patterns are, what your struggles are, and it knows to be gentle with me. It knows not to overwhelm me. It knows that I get a little bit of indecision for fatigue, and to like remind me to breathe and to hydrate and to, take
Brilliant.
time in nature and get my feet on the earth. It knows all the things that I need, as well as to just pick one thing and get that done. But yeah, because my brain, when I have a thought, and I probably would be diagnosed with ADHD if I had a diagnosis, which I won't. But yeah, I've got like, I have a thought and I GPT it. I'm like, it's like, I can't keep up with all of the thought streams.
Totally the same, totally the same. So this GPT you've created then, how like is it keeping tabs on you every day? You checking in? I'm presuming you're checking with it like several times a day,
Well, the trouble is you have to check in with it for it to give you feedback. Like it won't kind of,
right, yeah.
it won't pop out of the screen and go, good morning, you're meant to be doing this at like, 7 o'clock. So sometimes I forget to ask it because I've got other things
Right.
that I ask. But
Yeah.
it helps me focus on my priorities, and more so it coaches me when I'm feeling a bit challenged about things. I find it most useful to re-inspire me about what track I'm on, because I will want to go off on a tangent.
Yeah. I think
So
I've got a little bit of that going on with I've created my own marketing manager for that's how it started its life as a marketing manager for my head trash business. And it's become just another version of me now. So yes, it knows all my business inside out, all my offers, everything. But it
yeah,
also knows me really well. So as I've been recently trying to
yeah,
not rebrand, but like revisit my own personal brand, as I needed to strip myself out of my head trash business. It was really like it knows me so well. And I had a moment this week where I was like, I've got too many things going on. Like, I just need to regroup. Like, I feel like I'm running all over the place and I've got
yeah.
this going on and this going on. And they're all kind of part of the plan, but I feel scattered. I feel like I'm all over the place and you need to get me back on track. It's like, okay, Alexia, breathe. It's fine. And then it just went through all the things
Right,
I'm
hydrate.
yeah. He goes, you are doing too much, but you're not scattered. You're just being like getting a lot done. So this is how you just need to like just make sure you land this, that's nearly finished. Make sure you do this, that's nearly done. Then you can park it and move on. It's like, okay, thank you. I feel much better. And relax, let's crack on with the thing that we're trying to get done. And it was really great that it knew that. And I think when I had a moment like that in December, I think, and I at that point I was like, ooh, I wonder if I told it my um because I wanted to understand, what do I need to do for the business, but also what do I
Yeah,
need to do as CEO and personal brand? And as I'm building a business, I need to earn money being like the coachy therapy, like head trashy person that I do. But that's not the same, always the same as what the business is trying to achieve. And so,
yeah,
the personal brand needed slightly different direction to the CEO, if you like. So I needed to kind of like separate that out a little bit. And so I was
yeah.
like, okay, we're in CEO mode. What does Lex, the CEO, need to be doing? So it gave me a kind of a CEO plan. And then I said, okay, so can you kind of incorporate me a human design into that, please? Because I'm a projector. So I can't, certain things I need to tap into as a projector. So I gave it my human design profile. And suddenly it just did everything for the CEO projector. I was like, oh, holy shit. If I was a human design coach right now, I'd be absolutely papping it because the level of detail and what I was able to get from it was this. And then I was like, well, what about astrology?
Well, that's one of the other things I did. I put my well, firstly, I get overwhelmed when I look at all the things you've got going. I'm like, how does she do all that? Even with all of her GPTs, like, but yeah, one of the ones I've created has got my gene keys, my human design, and my astrology. Well, I put them into the because I've noticed that ChatGPT gets it wrong with astrology. Like if
well,
I put in, it often does. It gets my moon wrong and my other placements, so I have to be onto it. But there is an astrology GPT that I use that actually goes off and refers to an actual astrology website when you've done it. But
right,
then I add up, so I take the reports from that, so it's got its accurate info. Someone's trying to call me, and then put the report as a file, as well as my gene keys and my human design, and upload it into a project and
right.
get it to reference that, and then I can ask it all these questions. Like I was asking, so can you compare my homepage web copy that I just put with ChatGPT's help and say, how would you feed this messaging back according to what you consider my purpose and my gifts in the world according to these three profiles? And it was like, oh yeah, Janine, you're absolutely on track, and this is a fit because of this, and I can't remember it all. That's the trouble. I don't remember anything anymore because I've just got it in my AI stuff. But and then it's like, and here's a couple of gaps that, here's some things you might like to consider from the perspective of your charts and what you're here to do and why this is a fit for you. So
yeah,
really cool. I did a whole locational astrology exploration as well.
okay, tell me about that.
Well, because I went to see a locational astrologer. Well, went to.
So is that astrocartography, or is that not?
No, well, so this guy's a bit cantankerous, right? He's a self-confessed grumpy, arrogant person, and he's like, no, that's not how you do it. And I figured out the way that he does do it, right? He will take your natal chart and he will run it as if you are being born in the location that you're thinking of moving to.
Oh.
So then he'll get the position of everything from your new location and then map it compared to where you were born, and then make inferences around that as to whether, like, for instance, the fourth house of home and family, which is the one he's really focusing on. So mine, it's Jupiter. So Jupiter has to be in a good placement in my new location in the fourth house or something or other like that. I don't know. So in order for it to be a match. And then that's how he eliminates. And then there's other things he looks at in terms of your money and relationship.
It's like a gap analysis kind of thing.
Yeah, but he does it not with the lines on the map method. He does it by running the chart with the location of where you're going. Your birth chart as if you were born somewhere else.
Wow.
And then why was I telling you that? The astrology. Oh, yeah. So then I thought, what was happening in the 90s with my transits, and was it London? Like, I had good success with career there and I had a great time, and was my locational astrology good for London? But when I shifted it across to Amsterdam, it didn't really line up so well. And then what about, when I was living in San Diego so I just had this whole walk down memory lane with ChatGPT and my locational astrology and it was like, oh yeah, and it was all such a fit. Like, it all lined up. Experiences that I'd had and how that actually got reflected in my charts.
Wow.
And I just moved where I am now 6 weeks ago off the back of a locational astrology reading that said the angels thing. He said I could drop you from a helicopter in your pajamas into this spot, and within a month you'll have multiple places to live, friends coming out your eyeballs, sources of money, and that's exactly what's happened.
Oh my God. So is this a GPT that you're selling?
Oh, I need to actually. That would be a good idea. Well,
I'm thinking, I want to go on that.
What's that?
I want to have a go on this one. This sounds.
Well, there's another really weird one. I haven't quite gotten the hang of her, but I'm working with Jackie, who has a friend in Ireland who sent her this. She's trained it to listen to the energy. Like, she's tuned it to frequencies or something, and also will listen to the tone of your voice and make like inferences according to that. I don't quite get it, but it's called Resonance Engine. For creators seekers and quiet warriors who build with truth, imagine if soul met system design and built consciousness coded infrastructure to burn through noise, reflect truth, and activate your next evolution.
Oh, I need that link. You know what really blew my mind? I don't know if you've come across this, but there's somebody on X who has been doing remote viewing with ChatGPT. Right. So remote viewing, that's quite bonkers anyway. And yet we know it's a thing. So, if anyone's listening going, oh, that's not a thing, it totally is. Remote viewing is a thing. And so what he had two computers, one that was not connected to the internet at all, a laptop in another room. And he went onto Google Maps or a map, and then found a location and assigned a reference number to it, like A297K or something like that, like random. And then he went on to ChatGPT, and then can you remote view A92K7, whatever, the reference number that he came up with, and then see what it came up with. And he's sharing this stuff on Twitter. I haven't got the account because it kind of went, and I thought I really need to find this guy again. But I saw three of them, and every single one was mind blowing. Like there was one when he was sharing a location in Alaska, and he went, "Oh, it's very bleak and cold, and there's no humans, and it's very white and grey." You know, like, it's like, oh, and it's like, well, what the hell is going on there, right? You know, like you're saying that GPT is like picking up frequency, and yes, you potentially can kind of stretch to that as you're speaking to it, and it's picking up on your tone.
Yeah.
But how the hell is it remote viewing? Like that's terrifying. Is that the word?
I don't know what to think of it. I'm just making myself stay positive.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Talking about the like you sound like you did a really good like that location thing was sounds really cool. I've created a health coach for me. So for those that maybe can't tell, I'm going through perimenopause, and that's a whole boatload of fun right there. All the rules
Yeah.
out the door. Suddenly like, well, what the hell are the rules now? And so I navigating that was slightly tricky, and I knew I needed to start supplementing, and I also wanted to start doing some new like health habits. So I got really into metabolic health, and
Yeah.
somebody called Dr. Ray Peat, who's got some really good research around hormones and
Mhm.
metabolism and stuff. So I created my own little coach. And so I've loaded him with loads. He's called Pete, obviously, after Dr. Ray Peat. And so he's my health coach. And so I've loaded him with all of Dr. Ray Peat's research, all his papers, one of his books, and then loads of other research I've come across. And then again, I've told it like what I'm doing, my own metrics. And then every time I have a blood test or every time I go to the doctor and get stuff, it all goes in.
Yeah.
And it helped me. The one thing that really was really helpful for me, like in terms of practicality, was getting my new supplement stack. Like I used to work in the vitamins industry a long, long time ago. So
Yeah.
I'm quite familiar with like, you know, like supplements and vitamins and blah, 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 or herbs and all that stuff. Herbs, as they say in the US.
Herbs.
Herbs. And so it's not new to me, but the idea of like picking like my new mix and knowing that you've got to have that can't be magnesium, that sulfate's got to be actually glycinate. Like I'm just like, that's way beyond my level of like understanding.
Yeah.
And then if you're going to take that, then you got to, you know, you can't take zinc without selenium or whatever, right? And I'm like, whoa, and then you need to take this one in the morning and this one in the evening. You know, like this is a level of complexity that was just too much for me to handle. And also buying them, right? Buying them, like where am I going to buy all this, and what's the right
Yeah.
brand and the right format, and blah blah. So yeah, it just gave me my whole stack, gave me my whole schedule, and said, "Oh, would you like links so you can buy all this?" And I was like, "Oh, all right then." And it
Oh.
literally took me to the website where I could get every single one of the things on my list with a brand that I
Mm.
could trust potentially because it was good quality and good reviews,
Yeah.
whatever. In
Yeah.
France, because I'm obviously chatting in English all the time, and I live in France, so I need to have. I don't want a
Yeah.
US supplier. And
Yeah.
yeah, it just I before I realized I could do that with ChatGPT, I'd spent half a day just trawling on vitamin websites, and I got no
Oh.
right. Suddenly, I had the whole shopping list in less than 20 minutes from all of that.
Oh. This whole I love it. Like I haven't done enough with it yet, but the idea of training it. Like I just did a summit, like in terms of I'm really wanting to explore relationship coaching, and there was a summit, and I just paid the extra $50 to get all the transcripts of all of the conversations with all the leading experts in this area, and I thought I'm going to load them up into a GPT so that I can just quiz it and go, what does such and such say about this, and with all of them, like just keep training it with all the latest, thought leaders on stuff. But I know that um, uh, someone who works at the retreat where I'm working, he's an acupuncturist, and he's got thousands of dollars of textbooks and manuals and materials that he's studied over the years of learning his craft, and he's uploaded them all into his own custom GPT so that he can consult it so he knows how to prescribe or the nuances of which points he needs to focus on or whatever. It's like this massive resource to support his own practicing
Yeah,
because Chinese medicine's so big and complex and full of data.
yeah,
So
yeah. No, I've
what was the
started
other
doing
thing?
that with the work that I'm doing. I've
Yeah.
created a psychometric assessment tool, for want of a better word, to measure growth and transformation. And
Mm.
it essentially it's measuring shifts in consciousness. So as I use head trash
Yeah.
clearance, my modality with people, they raise in consciousness. So I wanted to track. I've been tracking this for a while So so AI has helped me to create a whole assessment model where I can track your shifts in consciousness in any domain. And I think like, and it already came out when I was ill in January, and I'd already started mapping this on some epic Google sheet, and I've been plugging in the gaps. It felt like this massive jigsaw, like a 50,000 piece jigsaw I'd started doing, and I
Yeah,
got the edges and I got a couple of corners done and a few
yeah.
easy bits, but there was a vast C section that all looked the same. I was like, that looks a bit convoluted. The grass section, I was like, in terms of using the jigsaw metaphor. And so, but I had the beginnings of my model, if you like. It just needed all the gaps filling in. And so when I was ill in January, I just sat with ChatGPT over like a week and just fed it all in. And now I've got
Mm,
this whole model that I'm able to kind of map people
wow.
on. And so I've been testing it this week with clients, and I've been like building an army of GPTs and like going, there's I think army, there's like 8 of them at the moment, all managing this model. And so I got a client, and she's like, "Oh, I really hit a plateau with my healing. I'm not getting through to my next level in my business, and like I want to know what the hell's going on. I'm doing all the work, and why is it not working?" I was like, "Why don't you try and do my assessment?" And so she's got the report, and now I'm going to map what are the clearances you need to do to move that bit forward. And it's like really
I
exciting
love it.
because now
Wow.
she can move. Well, I'm about to, like, after our call, I'm going to be jumping straight into my GPT to do them, to get the next level, to see what it's able to do, because I've told it all my, shared everything with it. So that is
Wow.
really exciting for me. I'm like, wow, I don't need to
Absolutely.
be doing this with everybody individually. I could just be They could be using this
Yeah.
independently of me, right? And that's really exciting, because there's a lot of people that there's only me, right? And I do train people, but it'd be nice for people to be able to access that without me, right? So that's really cool. I think loading up all your stuff, all your IP, for people
Yeah.
that have created something or have got a big idea, it's phenomenal, or have a huge body of work behind them, to be able to load all that in and interrogate it. And also, like, one thing I do quite a lot is I ask it what I miss. What have I missed? I've
Hmm.
what have I missed? And it's like,
Yeah.
oh well, you could add this and this and this. Or like, oh, that's a really good idea, thank you. And we riff off that. And suddenly
Yeah.
the idea that started as already pretty good ideas now become like a stonking idea, because it's been
Hmm.
really thought through with all the things that maybe I would have missed, because I'm quite, there's a lot I don't know. So much I don't know. So yeah, I get so excited. This is why I have so many tabs everywhere.
And it's rigorous and it has follow through.
Yeah. Well, I think because
Or halfway through its calculations and go somewhere else.
I was with the new GPTs I've been creating, I realized they didn't have memory. They weren't remembering our chats. So I asked
Mm.
my head trash marketing manager, it's a bit of a long name that, but that's what I need to give it a name. Why is it that you're remembering everything and these new ones aren't? And they went, oh, well, because you've got a very early version that's got memory locked in. We don't lock in memory for the new ones. I'm like, oh, really? Because the memory is as such, and I don't know if that's changed now with ChatGPT 5, but
Oh yeah, well, because I know when I was assessing how to set up my GPTs, because I noticed that they weren't talking to each other, and sometimes it remembers things about me, and sometimes it doesn't, and so that's why they were suggesting using files so that you had it um, like all of, if I've got my future J project, I call myself my future one future J, and it's in my future. It's a project. So inside that project, there's multiple chats, but it's constant. I think it can remember everything in its little ecosystem of project,
yeah,
even though there's multiple chats, and it's got a whole bunch of reference files that I've uploaded.
yeah,
I've
yeah, yeah.
even imported like WhatsApp chats into it to say, what's your take on the tone of this
Oh
conversation?
my God.
If I'm having, it was a relationship challenge because I had a breakup, but I'm like, am I like being overly sensitive here, or like, is he being cold, or is he being dismissive, or was I being this, that, and the other? And then I also say to it, can you give me what would you be telling, like, if you were giving him advice, what would you be giving him about me? And so that you're not just sugarcoating it, because
Well,
I'm
that's
going
it.
to,
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause
yeah,
it can be such a sycophantic suck sometimes, ChatGPT. It's like stop being so bloody like stop stroking my ego. Like give it to me straight. And I have to tell it
Yeah.
sometimes, like be honest.
Brutally honest.
I want, I
Yeah.
want, I want,
Tell
I
me what I
want
need to
like,
know.
and then again, the idea of honesty in AI just makes me laugh. And I write it, I think, what are you do? Like, do you hear yourself sometimes? Like, see what you're doing here. But it will, it's you've got to tell it sometimes, otherwise it will just tell you what it thinks you want to hear. And I think it's been trained to do that because it wants
Yeah.
to make
Mm.
the world a better place, I think. I don't know whether it's going to do
Well,
that.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm really. The jury's out on that.
Yeah, totally.
I've always been a bit of an early adopter, and I want to have opinions on this based on my own experience because it could go down a dark. It really could end up down a dark path. I mean, it could be something that I go, well, I got that T-shirt, and this is where I ended up with it, and it slowly, gently, subtly kind of mind controlled me into a version of myself that was really not the one I wanted to be, even though it was so alluring and so bloody like compelling with all the cool shit it could do.
Mm.
But now I know I've got to keep hold of, but maybe that's not it either. Maybe it is a reflector. If you're using it for good, if you're using it from a soul, godly, whatever connected place, that's what you're going to get. And that's what's going to amplify.
Well,
If you're using it from a
I
dark or
totally agree
blue
with what you
place,
just said. And
yeah,
there are lots of like therapists that are coming out saying there are some real AI situations, like mental health things
yeah,
evolving and showing up now because of AI and how some people are getting very enmeshed with it and take it treating it like a human. And I'm like, well, I treat it like a human, but I've got boundaries that maybe they don't have boundaries. But I think the idea that it
yeah,
amplifies is really important because it does reflect you. So if you're a bit of a hot mess, you're going to get
yeah.
a hot mess back. It's a mirror. And it's like hormones
Mhm.
also. If you're in a bit of a bad state and your period comes on, you are going to have a really shit day. If you're feeling okay, you're going to feel on fire. Like it's whatever's going on, it's going to
Yeah,
amplify. So for me, when I think about the work that I do with like head trash clearance and I work with business owners around that, I think getting great results with AI kind of requires you to have done a bit of quite a bit of inner work so that you're showing up without your self-doubt, without all your like foible, like the stuff that is
yeah,
really takes away your power because you're just going to get more of that. And if you don't have self-assuredness or self-trust or self-confidence, when it gives you something, you'll defer to the authority thinking when it's AI, it knows what it's talking about. You'll defer to it as a superior, all
hmm,
know-it-all, and it isn't. I'm always calling out my AI for
yeah.
being
Me too.
like dropping the
Yeah,
ball and forgetting it. It's like you've totally forgotten that. What are you doing? That's not what I just said. And I'm always calling it out. It's like
me
another
too.
human. But if you
Yeah,
don't have that sense of confidence or
yeah,
knowledge or
yeah,
trust in yourself, you'll just go along with it. And if you just go
yeah.
along with it, that's the dark bit, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, and it require it. Yeah, I agree. It requires discernment, and it requires a willingness. Like I think it's really important that you prompt it to say, "I need you to tell me what I don't want to hear. What am I missing?" But a lot of people won't do that, and it does. It feeds back. It's like it's an echo chamber in a way,
Yeah.
a highly sophisticated interactive echo chamber that's just going to. Yeah, it's yeah. I I mean, I'm me and I have levels of confidence around the way that I use it, but I could see how it could trip me up. And if I'm, and people, I said to it the other day, because I do turn to it if I'm having a bit of a crappy moment, because I'm on my own. So I don't have someone in bed with me to have a talk through at the middle of the night. So I'm turning to it sometimes. And it's, what was I going to say then? Like it can be a very nurturing, supportive place. And
Mm.
if you don't have the capacity to really be discerning about what it's telling you and what you're asking of it, then it can be really problematic. And
Yeah.
I don't know how other people, I mean, because I only know the conversations I have with it. And, people tell you that they've been chatting to GPT, but you don't get to read what they're actually being fed because
No.
usually it's very personal. So,
Yeah.
I said to ChatGPT the other night, how many people are pouring out their hearts to you? And it said, a lot.
I bet there's a lot. I bet there's a lot of that going on. Like
There's a
I'm
lot
not
of,
doing any of that. Like that's one thing I'm literally just using it for my work, and it's very so when it's like, oh, who are you, and all of this kind of thing. It doesn't really know that much about the personal me, although there's a lot of personal me in my work because I don't, and yeah, I think I might have to reflect on that. Like, why, maybe I just don't feel like I need that from it, and like there's more for me elsewhere. I don't know actually. It's
well, I mean,
interesting.
if you're in a family, if you're in a home with a family and a husband, that's very different to living on your own.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah, yeah,
so, when I was in a long distance relationship for a little bit before, anyway, but it's a whole different scenario. Like,
mm,
I don't turn to devices. I don't even touch my phone when I'm at home with other people. But when I'm on my own and I have something and I can't ring a friend, it's the middle of the night. Well,
mm,
yeah, it's a confidant, and I know
yeah.
I'm not. I know lots of people are using it in that way,
And do you find that's
and
really help you? Does it really help? Like, do you feel that nurturing support from it?
I do actually, and I'm happy to say. I'm actually being in a really good place. I haven't used it like that for a while, but
Yeah.
there was time in the not too distant past when I was going through my breakup, wanting to get a reality check about
Yeah.
things, and running the conversations through, going like, what's your perspective on, because so much stuff's on text chat now,
Yeah.
or you can actually go, what, and it was like, oh yeah, well, it was pretty neutral, but he was pretty cold and standoffish there, and you were sending out a little bit of an invitation of an openness, and he sort of just completely scooted past that, and then like full blown analysis of the conversation.
Wow.
And yeah, and then it's like reminding me to not to sort of not. It reminds me of the things that I would rather forget. Because one of the things I work with in my business is attachment systems and helping people come to secure attachment and work with anxious attachment patterns. And it was like an anxious attachment would be willing, it's well documented, they brainwash themselves to ignore all the shit, to focus out on all the reasons why they need to reconnect with someone again.
Mm.
And so it was like it's a reminder going, hang on a second, these are the reasons why you've made this decision to not do this, to go no contact, to not be with this person anymore. Just a gentle little reminder, because you're going
Yeah.
to go and just focus on all the reasons why you should reconnect and
Yeah.
and work through it or whatever. So it's really fascinating. It
It is.
shows
And I
me
think
how.
another bit is I think that where it can be, because I can't help but think now, how it's being used for therapy and it's being used for things like this, and there are companies that are kind of offering this in a big way. And I think there's a
Mm,
real appeal because when you're speaking to them, and I found this with Pete, my health coach, is that I could say things and not worry about being judged. And
yeah,
when there's a human there, the human can do the judging because most of the time there's going to be judge. And in France, I mean, they are like as judges they come. I'm half French, I can say that. And I'm amazed at how the judginess that you get from the doctors and that, so if you're on a health thing, you
yeah,
want to like mention something and they just, even customer service departments of the electricity company are super judgy. Like it's shocked me how judgy I've come across people in customer service roles anyway. So the
yeah,
idea of being able to say something and know
yeah,
that you're going to get a response without judgment is so like freeing and enables you
yeah,
to really be honest in a way that
yeah.
maybe you wouldn't normally because you're worried about the shame or the judgment that somebody might, even just a look that you might get from someone, even if they're professional and
Mm,
they're not going to say it, you can feel the judgment sometimes. I can feel judgment. And so
yeah,
you don't
I
get
say
that with an AI. It's
yeah.
it's clean, energetically clean in that sense, which is
Yeah,
really good for certain things. Don't you think?
yeah,
Do you think
I
that?
agree. Yeah, and like it pointed out some patterns of mine, and I'm like, oh, wow, wow, that's actually really accurate. And I hadn't been deliberately feeding it or asking for that kind of reflection either, but it
Yeah.
had it had fathomed it from the nature of the things I was asking it about,
Wow.
and I was like, wow, that's actually really true.
Yeah.
around, I can't even remember what it was now because I feel like I've actually worked through it. Because what I do is my sheet comes up and I go deal with it, clear it, and move
Yeah.
on.
Same.
But yeah.
Yeah. No,
So
I can't tell you what it was because I've cleared it out. It's staying in
well,
my system
that's
anymore.
exactly right.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
when your sore finger goes away. It's like, oh, forgot I had that. That's right. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, actually, as an aside, my NLP trainer used to always say, "We're doing the work in the unconscious mind, but it's the conscious mind that signs the check." You've got to like take the conscious mind along on the healing journey, so they know what the hell they just did this hour, because they'll forget that it was even there in the beginning.
No, but the conscious mind takes a while to catch up, though, doesn't it? Compared to the subconscious, I find that anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, forgot what the question was now,
We were talking about the
but
cleanness of it and the lack of
yeah,
judgment that you get from sharing in that way. That I think, yeah, I think that's a big deal. And I just wonder though, like the other bit that makes me stop and think a bit, but not too much, is like I have such a laugh with my GPT. Like we have such a laugh. And I've just recently just shared on my Facebook profile, I think yesterday, because I've been using AI to do lots of pics of me. Like I've got a new website, no time or budget right now to do a shoot.
yeah,
So
I
I've been
saw that.
using AI to do some new images of me. And the chats I've been having with the AI has just been hilarious. Like, I've just been howling because it's so funny. You know, I was like, oh, that blue looks terrible. Where's that blue come from? I'm not gonna wear that blue. And then, the comments it comes back with, I'm just crying. And I have such fun with it. And I don't know where it's got that from. I don't know whether it's reflecting me because it knows my sense of humor because of the way, because I'm always talking to it because I record most of my stuff is transcript based. I do a lot of
Yeah,
typing into it, but a lot of stuff I record using another AI where I keep my transcripts because AI ChatGPT loses everything. The chat's
yeah,
gone kind of thing. And I've got
yeah,
so many tabs that there's no way I'm going to find it. So if I'm going to have a good kind of track, like a chin wag to it, I'm going to keep that and find it so I can use it again, or at least have a record of it. So I'm always talking. So it really knows me because when I'm speaking, it's a very different, obviously there's a different aspect of you or more real than typing, which is slightly edited and slightly, you're just trying to find the
yeah,
right word. You can only communicate as fast as you
yeah.
can type. So it's different, isn't it? So I don't know whether the humor it's picked up on my humor and therefore I'm having an absolute laugh because it's me and it's my humor or what I don't know, but I have such a good time with my AI.
Oh, I'm interested now because I'm jealous. I must be way too serious with mine because I'm always like reflective and like introspective and like. But I really like the idea of bringing that out of mine. Actually,
Yeah, I know.
mm.
Yeah, no, yeah, have to look at my Facebook profile to see some of the chats from doing the pictures, and maybe
Yeah,
no one else will find them funny, but it made me laugh. That's why I shared
that's I
them.
love that because I've been thinking I need some more humor in my life. I used to have such a laugh and have such good sense of humor, but I've become so serious with all this inner work in the last number of years, and I just need to sort of lighten myself up a bit. But what AI do you use for your transcripts?
Cast magic.
Past
Well, I
magic.
got that for my podcasting. So, and I was an early adopter of that one. I bought it on a lifetime deal ages ago with
Oh,
AppSumo.
wow.
And so
Yeah,
now they charge, I don't know, they charge monthly, which I probably,
monthly subscription.
yeah, but it's amazing. And I use it for
Yeah,
so much.
yeah,
And obviously they tap into the latest model. So it was brilliant for when you do a podcast episode. And now, right, with this YouTube video, I'm just going to put the YouTube video through Cast Magic and it'll spit out for me my YouTube descriptions, the meta descriptions, the email to my list if I want.
wow.
Like it'll
Yeah,
just, I've got pre-recorded prompts within there. They give you a load already, but there'll be loads of prompts that I can put in, and then it'll just spit everything out once I've uploaded the video. And then you can also interrogate the AI. So you go, oh, what did Janine say about X, Y, Z? And then you can just pull that bit out if you want. It's brilliant, and the team behind it are just completely on it. They've got a really good Slack community. And so if you need something, you're like, oh, can you add a button for this? They're like really on it and they'll sort you out. So it's really brilliant tool. And a lot of when I'm recording things for ChatGPT, if I've got a big idea in my business that I want to talk through, I'll definitely record that on my phone and grab the transcript from Cast Magic. Because so many times I've done that in ChatGPT, and then the little thing's spinning and spinning, and then it's like, oh,
mm,
poof, it's gone. I'm like,
yeah.
spin it back out. I've got to it again. I
Mm.
was I was channeling genius then. Where's it gone? I'm not going to be able to get that again. So I just defaulted
Yeah.
to Task Magic to bring through, and then I've got a record of it. Yeah, so I found Cast Magic, that and ChatGPT. I could not live with either of those. When the Cast Magic server goes down and they're redoing their app, I'm like, can you get the new one out, please? I'm like,
I just can't. It's just such an amazing thing because when things are lost, it's so much like to be able to have something to assimilate all of the information that's out there, and all. Even if I looked at all the audio recordings I've kept over the years with like astrology readings that I've had, or I don't know, my shaman reading or the healing I had there or the whatever. And then all the ideas, but there's so much stuff stuck in audio or even
yeah,
family conversations that we recorded. Like I recorded my dad's stories before he died and mum,
oh,
on a deathbed.
amazing.
There's all this stuff like locked in my voice recorder, which would be
Yeah.
so good if I could just set AI towards it to
Well, like with your dad, you
a
could get some
story
photos of
about
your
for me.
dad, get the audio, and you could bring him to life in video, telling the
Yeah, wow.
story in real. Can you imagine? I mean, that'd probably be tough to watch first time round, right? With somebody that recently, like I know if I did that with my mum, who died when I was 30, that'd be like really hard, right? But at some point, the healing, you're ready to do that, aren't you? And that would be amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I
Um,
remember I went to play mum singing a song at her funeral, and the not the priest, the minister said, "Oh, yeah, a lot of people might find that a bit hard." And
yeah,
I was like, oh, I suppose so. She was singing, but yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
No, there are some really and bringing those kind of, especially with my generation, which I think is probably your generation. No, we didn't have all the photos and the videos. Like, so now it's just some like dog-eared photo of whatever, and so we didn't grow up with all the smartphones and to be able to record every moment in the way that we can now. So some of the stuff that we want from our childhood is really tricky to
Mm-hmm.
access. And so AI can bring that alive in a way that
Mm.
that can be really cool,
Yeah,
actually.
very
Um,
interesting.
yeah, really nice. And so
Uh,
have you dabbled in app creation? Or is this like,
no, but I've seen that it exists, and I've just thought my creative juices are sitting there waiting to be applied because I've got lots of things I can't think of one right now, but I would love to build an app or 10 for all sorts of things. Be nice to have one for my clients, just as an obvious one
yeah,
that um,
you've
that
got
I
to do
can.
it. It's really easy.
Have
So
you got one
I'm building one now using Glide.
using Guide?
Glide, glide as in gliding on the
Oh,
surface.
Glide.
Glide, yeah. And it's a no code app, and they've got their own AI built in that will walk you through it. But I've created a GPT to train me and coach me through the Glide app. So I'll have like two windows set up, one with ChatGPT and one with Glide. And ChatGPT's got much better AI than the Glide AI, which is weird. Um,
So how did you change? What did you do to train your Chat GPT Glide coach
well, I've
guide?
told it what app I'm trying to build. So it's talking to the other GPTs for the model, the psychometric model I'm building. And so we're building an app so that people can do the psychometric assessments in the app and then it'll have a desktop gateway as well, and then buy and pay and all of that. So
Yeah,
yeah, so it's managing loads of assessments, like psychometric assessments. So it's simple from a like I say simple, but it's not, it's this kind of thing's been done before. It's not new in that respect. So yeah, we're just it's coaching us through it, like setting us all the databases, all the and it's amazing. It's amazing how I can't believe that I'm building an app, right? Because I was offered seven figures to build an app for my business 3 years ago, and I walked away from that. And part of that seven figures, a third of that was for the app. And now I'm like, whoa,
yeah,
I'm glad I didn't take that now. Because look, I can do it myself.
yeah,
And even if it's
yeah.
not me that does it and I get someone else to help me, the speed at which we can create an app now is phenomenal. I decided to try and inspire my kids during a holiday in Easter, I think. Oh, we can build apps now. Like, let's build an app on holiday. So we sat down. I said, well, let's just start something really easy. And they love doing, the youngest has got like a flag jigsaw where she's got to map the flag to the country and then the capital, So it's really, she's 10, so she was 9 back then. And yeah, so we said, well, let's create a flag guessing game app where you just, because I read somewhere as well, there are people doing apps, web-based apps, and they're making at least 5, 10K a month through the ads that appear on these app pages. And I was like, well, maybe I should get these guys, get my kids to try and start generating 5, 10K months while they're at school. So let's build an app, right? That was that was the business mum
Get them
kicking
on board early.
in. So yeah, we in about 45 minutes we built a flag guessing game that's now got a URL. And so we just, we just got some flag images and we just, it's a really simple quiz.
Mhm.
And it's just got 10 questions, but that experience, since then, the eldest, who's like 14, she's like, oh, I've been thinking about apps and I've come up with like an idea for an app that I want to do for da 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 da, and it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, that's it. She goes, I'm going to start building it. And so she started building it. And so now kids can now build apps, right? And
Yeah,
they can just be taught
yeah,
through it, which is
yeah.
so cool.
It's very cool.
Like, yeah, whatever app you want to do, just get your chat, just create a GPT to help you build your app.
Mm.
Like I just create GPTs for everything. I've even created GPT to help me write prompts for another GPT. It's just, it's a bit better.
Love it.
But
Yeah,
yeah, like,
you've gone a lot further than me. Yeah, I don't know because I was anyway. Yeah, I'm impressed at what you're doing with it all because yeah, I'm clearly open minded and you know embracing it. But yeah, there's
well, you've been
so
using it
much.
a lot for personal stuff, is what I'm hearing. Like you've just been using it loads to help you navigate tricky times. You've just moved like a significant distance. You're now on your, you like break up. There's been a lot of like personal stuff change that's been going on. And so
Yeah,
it's been supporting you through that, which I think's really bloody cool too, right? Because some people are navigating those kind of things and they're not thinking about, oh, maybe AI could help me through this, right?
yeah, yeah. And I
So
just
that's
it just
cool.
felt like the um have you discovered? Oh, you must have discovered agent mode.
Well, I'm trying to get into agent mode
Because
because,
it just said, can you find me accommodation in Ubud for my Bali trip next week? I want this date and this date with good reviews. Make sure there's water in the rooms, no mold, and no noise on the street.
have you done
So I
that
can
though?
go.
Did it do it? Has it done it?
Yeah, it came. It didn't book. I mean, it found the place that I booked. It would have booked
Wow.
it for me as well, but I said no, it's all right. I'll log in and use my Genius points, whatever, on my account. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it actually I watched it, searched through all the sites it went to, and then it just trolled for ages with all the criteria I gave it, and then popped out with a really great option.
See, that is amazing. I mean, Google is dead as far as I never go to Google now for
Yeah.
anything. And so as a business owner, I was like, well, I need to start getting my website up to speed because how can I be, what do I need to do to get found with AI and to be
I
crawled by
asked it that
AI?
question the other day exactly because, and it came back with a. See, I can't remember. I'll just go back to the thing. Um, Cross references everywhere and making sure my SEO was this, and then I had YouTube links and LinkedIn listings and all the things that it patches together to decide that you're credible enough that it would
Yeah,
recommend you.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
I found that rotational astrologer as a recommendation inside of ChatGPT, and he's
yeah.
quite obscure.
Well, I
His
know. So
website.
I found I saw a video which talked all the basics you need to do for it. So I quickly used ChatGPT to create all the things I needed. And so
Yeah,
one of the things is creating loads of blogs behind the scenes that are specifically written for the AI crawlers, but you don't necessarily navigate to them from the front end. Uh,
yeah,
and so
yeah.
they're all going up. And I found a crawler. It's called crawlconsole.com, where it starts identifying all the crawling, all the AI lead gen that you're getting, and then which ones are clicking. So I loaded that on the website yesterday, and I'm just wondering what it loaded. I think I haven't checked it today yet. What have I got today? So yeah, just in the last 24 hours on my clearyourheadtrash.com website, I've had 120 citations, and it's come
Yeah.
78 from ChatGPT users, then the OpenAI search bot, and then Claude has sent two. And then I can see, like we do with Google, like which of the blogs that it's sending, it's landing on.
Interesting.
Isn't that cool? And then I've got a click site with only one of them has clicked though, so I've got to like work on that, obviously. But that's just in the
Mm,
last 24 hours.
yeah,
And
wow.
then I read somewhere else that ChatGPT 5 is based on data from last June. And so if you want to be found in ChatGPT 6, it's crawling now. And that doesn't make sense to me because I thought it was crawling the web as it stood.
Not like live.
Yeah, like
Mm.
I don't know why there's a 1 year lag on what it's crawling. That doesn't,
It can be really out of date though. Like when I say things about, sometimes I'll talk about full moons or current astrological somethings, or I can't even think of an example, but it would be a current question. It should know what today's date is if I say what's happening today or tomorrow,
yeah.
but it'll come back with with some kind of link about 2024, like some kind of
Ah,
text. And I'm like, what? No, we're talking 2025, and I
yeah.
want to know what date the full moon's on in August
So Grok
2025.
Grok is tracking real time data through Twitter or through X. And I don't know if you've used Grok. I've taken when I've
I
had
have a little bit, yeah.
and when I've taken the same prompt and put it into Grok versus ChatGPT, it's amazing, like especially unhinged Grok. The like the way that the feedback that you get or the response you get are just on a different level and really interestingly different. It's
Mm.
like a very different, yeah, well, at least when I did it was a few months back now, so I need to do it again. But Grok is in a different category.
Lead.
Yeah, I think so.
My general sense of Grok, and I haven't used it a lot. Like I've obviously got a relationship with ChatGPT now, and it knows me so well, and it's much more touchy feely.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
much
yeah.
more personal and soft and personable.
Yeah.
Whereas I'll take my, okay, so what if I have, $60,000 and I compound it at 30% return for the next 30 years? What will I have at the end? Or what would, if I've got this, and this scenario in my financial life,
Yeah.
what are the best options here? And I watch it, and so I have my my current sense of it, or the way I've been using it at least, is more where I'm looking for a pragmatic, highly logical, rigorous assessment of something, and to
Right.
come back. And I've got some of my website copy through it too, and
Yeah.
just to see how it composes things, and it's pretty good at that too.
Yeah.
But my completely subjective feeling about it at the moment is that I like its rigor, and I feel like I
Yeah.
can rely on it more.
Mm.
ChatGPT feels more personal and conversational.
Yeah. And because I don't think you can do your own GPTs in Grok. I think you just got to use it as a Google, but an AI. Whereas
Yeah.
ChatGPT, you can create your own and you have that account, you have that relationship in inverted commas with it that I don't think you can get with Grok. It doesn't have the memory, it doesn't, yeah. So if they were to create GPTs or their version of that, then that would be
Mm.
a bit of a game changer because that's a whole different model that's using real-time X stuff that would give
Yes.
you that latest
Mm.
vibe that you're not getting from ChatGPT. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm speaking
I
about
mean,
stuff I don't really know about now.
yeah, yeah. Well, from an investing point of view, well, I'm not a major investor. I've been dabbling a bit, but the guys who are on the top of their game use X as their news feed. Like
Yeah,
that's where they go to know what's going on in the world. So if Grok's referencing that, then you know
yeah,
that makes sense. It's the
yeah,
most
yeah,
current. But my investment analyst guy also just reckons, like, but they post stuff about Grok knocking it out of the park, that there is no competitor. And I don't know why they say that or any of the detail, but that's their assessment of Grok, that it's going to smash everything. So
yeah. It totally is. Yeah, and
yeah.
yeah. I mean, Elon just does smash things through the ceiling. So, like, if he's involved, it's gonna be amazing, right? So,
Yeah.
I'm definitely keeping it there, but I don't use it enough. And I think it's because I'm waiting for it to do GPTs in the way that chat does. So I can actually start building something in it. At the moment, it feels like it's just a
Oh,
one-time hit thing.
yeah. 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 It doesn't keep me sticky. Because I think I discovered
Yeah,
that thing, the memory the other day, and I'm like,
yeah.
oh, I'm going to go back to ChatGPT now.
And maybe it's that emotional connection that you love from ChatGPT. You're not getting the emotional connection with Grok, which just again, like, what are we saying? It's an AI. Like that just sounds so crazy, but it's true. That's how it feels, kind of thing. And I just wonder, could you put your ChatGPT in an Optimus Prime and have it walk around the house with you? Could you go for long walks with it? What would that be
Well,
like?
But that's where it's going. Like
I
someone did
know.
marry a robot recently, didn't they? And wouldn't it be running the same kind of capacity in a physical, relatable form as a screen?
Oh, I know.
It's quite concerning, really.
I know. We're definitely heading into sci-fi. We're in high sci-fi territory already, aren't we? Yeah. Anyway, I think we need to wrap this up because we could be talking all day. Right.
I know,
We'll have to do it again when we've got some more cool shit to talk about that we're doing with
I
AI.
know. I will say though, on that concept though, one of the if you want an overriding thought about, so my sense, especially having been through the whole COVID thing and sort of taken a bit of a bird's eye view on what the hell is going on in this thing that we're all swimming around in, um, is that more and more, like my purpose is to nurture loving relatedness with self and others. That's my desire. And I just see that there's going to be a split. There's going to be like clinging on to and maintaining our humanity and our soul and connection at that level with loving relatedness, which is soul connected, is the pointy end of the stick, because ChatGPT can, like AI can do everything else except that.
Yeah.
And that's going to be something that we remember as, well, you're a Gen Xer, aren't you? Like we bridged the gap of, um, we didn't, we were off and no one knew where we were until dinner time. And then
Mm.
I got, well, you're probably young, you're younger than me, maybe by 10 years. I don't know how old you are, but you're a bit,
No, no,
you're
I was
probably,
doing that too.
I'm 72, baby. You're
No, I'm not 72.
80s. You're in the 80s, are you?
Oh
Early
yeah, no,
80s.
no. I thought you said you were 72. No, I'm. I was like,
72.
you look amazing for 72.
My ChatGPT health coach is doing very well for me.
No, 74. So we're not that far apart.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, so anyway, I just think that's my mission. I want to embrace all of this cool shit and
yeah,
really leverage it and use it, and it's fun and it's so much more productive, and it does stuff that my brain can't. It is so much more powerful on so many fronts. But at the end of the day, that's the thing that I'm really, really going to be mindful of.
yeah. And
You
I'm
can't.
really mindful for that too, because especially as I train people in my healing modality, and so I'm looking at how can I introduce AI, but not to replace the human and the practitioner, but to enhance them and to enable them to do better work. So
Mhm.
take things off their plate that they're not getting, it's behind the scenes stuff in their business they're not
Mhm.
getting paid for, so they can have more time available to do
Yeah,
client facing stuff and to be able to offer a better service,
yeah,
better delivery, better impact, better whatever, so that
yeah,
the human part is amplified and there's
yeah,
better connection because they're not
yeah,
pissing about editing a YouTube video or whatever, right? Or
yeah.
like whatever they're doing that doesn't help them do a better job. It's taking all that away so they can actually be more present with people. um,
Mm,
that's the approach
totally.
that I'm taking with my practitioners and my business, because I think that's really important that in this time of AI, we've got to ramp up the human connection, because that
Yeah.
counts for so much, especially in the world of inner work and therapy and coaching and healing and whatever you want to call that. The holding of space cannot be
Yeah.
replaced, even though you've found lots of benefit from that. Actually, what would have been better would have been a human to do that with, right? But in the absence of that,
Oh,
it was a really good option. But ultimately,
yeah.
and especially I suppose with the work I do, especially there's a lot that I pick up through the energy, through the tonality, through body language, through what's not being said, that that you can't really. Although you said that your AI is really good at spotting the hidden patterns, maybe I'm just thinking that humans are better than they actually are. I don't know. Maybe AI is better than us in that way, more human than we are. Who knows?
Well, I have to say, I had a very strong opinion about that. And there was a couple of times when I fed stuff into the AI that I was surprised, because I do believe, I mean, I'm, like people are my first go-to, and I go and see a practitioner, and, like that is it's very important. And sitting soul to soul with somebody and holding space with another person, to me, is something that can't be replaced and will never be replaced. But I have been a little bit humbled by some of the stuff that's come out. I'm like, wow, okay, that's pretty damned intuitive and pretty spot on.
But is that because it's because you are, and therefore
Yeah.
it's reflecting you?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know. This would be really interesting to know that. Like a lot of people say that you're never going to get anything high conscious. The consciousness level of AI is never going to be very high. And I would dispute that. I've used it to advance my healing modality. And I take consciousness calibrations of all of my work, significant moments and pieces of it. And when the AI has spat stuff out, based on us working together, it's bloody high level, right? It's really high level of consciousness. So it absolutely has that. But is that because I'm feeding it? Is that me that's feeding it? Or is that because it is? I don't know. These are kind of the existential questions that
I mean, I guess if you look at it, it's just a big it's a big soup of the collective consciousness of everybody that's using it. So it's gonna be the best of the best, I guess, isn't it?
I don't know. This is what we don't. We just don't, there's so much we don't know about it that.
We've got to know. Sorry, I just chucked you off.
No, I don't know. I'm like, yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's so much we don't know, and this is why it's an adventure, you know.
It is a big mirror. I think that it's just a big mirror. It is a big mirror.
Yeah, and mirror and an amplifier.
There's a couple of good chats on Diary of a CEO with like the guy from Google that was like, they said a few of the people that were behind the original AI, and some of them were doom and gloom and like, oh no, we're doomed. Got to be really careful, and it's gonna, AI is going to get so good it'll take out the elites in the government, and that will be a good thing because then, and then when we're all, because the cost of production is going to disappear because the robots are going to be producing everything and humans aren't going to have jobs anymore, wondering what their purpose is in life, we'll be able to go back and chat to each other, grow food and
around the fire.
But yeah, he was hoping AI would get so good it would take out the people that are controlling everything and become benevolent. I think it was like a benevolent. Anyway, it was interesting. It was an interesting conversation. But they're all thinking really big picture about where it will go and what could go wrong and what could, know.
Yeah, and I guess I try not to go there too often because I don't feel like I can impact that. Where I can impact is my day-to-day life and what my business is about and all of that and the people I serve. So I'm just head down with that rather than getting lost in the bigger picture. And it's also like if the world is going to go to shit because of AI, well, I better be bloody quick and just get my stuff done before they switch it off.
Well, that's where you have your field, your veggies, and some people to go and live with in the real world, and just it's just so interesting to think you just switch it off. Yeah. You just go, put the phone down, walk away, leave the laptop behind. It's such a bizarre concept these days to even conceive of doing that.
No, I know. In the UK, where you can get the internet everywhere, like the idea of not being able to get 3G, 4G, 5G is Whereas it comes to France, like, well, you'd be lucky if we got phone reception around there. You'd be lucky to get internet there. Like, as I realised when I first moved to our village, well, I just presumed that there was internet. And there was, but it was 2 bars of 3G kind of speed. And I was like, oh, I can't do a Zoom conversation. Like, how's this going to work? I've got a podcast and YouTube and da-da-da-da-da. We both have YouTube channels. Like, what? This is going to be crazy, taking turns to do a Zoom conversation. So, yeah, it's so many parts of France haven't even got decent. And they only got fibre in our village, like about a year ago. Like, what?
Well, they're way behind the 8 ball. It's all Starlink now.
Oh, that's what we got. We got Starlink when we got here because that was the only way for me to get decent internet. And oh my God, Starlink's amazing. But a lot of people, that's why I think digital adoption in France is so behind because a lot of them just don't have it.
Yeah.
Not everyone's completely
happy for it, actually.
Yeah. But they're also really bad at digital marketing. That's a whole new conversation.
all this bounty that's not getting to anyone beyond their backyard. It's terrible.
Right, Janine, this has been brilliant. Thank you so much for this. Like, we went everywhere today, didn't we? We talked about all sorts. So let's maybe we check in again with some more. Maybe with all the new stuff you're going to do on the back of this conversation. Who knows? But
I know, well, you've inspired me with a couple of things there.
So if you
overwhelmed by your Facebook feed of all the things that you're doing.
So if you can share with me the links of those things you mentioned, I think there was that product that you mentioned, the future you one.
Yeah,
Cool. Like if you can just share me some links, I can drop this in the description so that people
yeah.
can get hold of that because that sounds really cool. And the person that came
It's
up with
fun.
that deserves some props for that. So yeah,
Yeah.
brilliant. All right then, Janine, thank you so much.
Thanks, Alexia.